Well, yesterday we got to a big interview with former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan, and today we get to an interview with another former RBI Governor. This time it's with Reddy, and he sat down with my executive editor Supriya Srinit. It was a very candid conversation where she quizzed the former RBI Governor on the relations between the centre and the state. Is it indeed at crossroads? How the Modi government has fared on fiscal federalism, and also we asked Reddy or what he thinks of the Congress Party's election promise of the minimum income guarantee. He has an edited excerpt.
I think I see no reason to say that chief ministers are wrong on a subject like this. I think the chief ministers know better what the farmers are in that particular state. They know the condition of the farmers. They run the administration. They have the farm records. Except money and idea, what does the central government has to contribute to the state? Just tell me, what is the expertise of the central government to say that this get a priority or legitimacy? But if it is done broader national interest, fine. So what I am saying is I cannot find fault with the chief minister if the chief minister says, even if you give me money, I don't want to do that, because it's a priority of the state and prerogative of the state. I would definitely respect the view of the chief minister on a matter like this.
The 15th Finance Commission, many people believe, could go back on what the 14th Finance Commission had recommended.
Exactly. That's what the terms of reference are. In fact, the 15th Finance Commission terms of reference says reference to implies or requires a review of the 14th Finance Commission recommendations. That is unusual. Every Finance Commission takes into account, it reviews all the past, not recommendations of a particular commission. So in a way, the TOR of the 15th Finance Commission in an unprecedented manner is asking the 15th Finance Commission to sit in judgment over the recommendations of the 14th Finance Commission.
You have said that the Planning Commission played a crucial role in fiscal federalism, but its replacement by Niti Aayog raises more questions than answers about its contribution. Where do you believe the Niti Aayog has erred?
Because Niti Aayog hasn't done really, is not able to have an interface with the states. There is no coherent, the whole initiative with regard to relationship between centre and states has fallen on the ministries now. There was an effort to have a coherent single point dialogue between the centre and states earlier. That's lacking now. There is no forum.
And you believe in a country like India, there needs to be one body that is an interface between the centre and the state.
See, whenever the union government says is trying to assume the responsibility of national interests, we must be very clear. There is the state level subjects, there is the union level subjects. Two lists. There is also national level. Suppose some state is opposing the union, it doesn't mean it's opposing the nation.
True.
So being anti-union government is not anti-national. There is no institutional, at least there is no institutional mechanism outside the Finance Commission where there is a forum where the states and centre can interact with each other. That's an institutional vacuum.
From a big picture point of view, what would your recommendation be to restore the credibility of the data? You know, debate is one thing, and in a noisy democracy such debates happen. It is unfortunate that our data is under suspicion, but what would your recommendation be to restore credibility of our data?
Actually, if I may go back about 15 years ago, there was the National Statistical Commission.
That's true.
It was headed by Dr. Rangarajan. I was a member. So we wanted to maintain the independence, integrity and quality of and timeliness of the statistical data. Now, in view of the recent controversy, I believe it is necessary to immediately establish a National Statistical Commission, a second National Statistical Commission, have an eminent person, have some users, have some representatives of state government also. Incidentally, much of the data, primary data is given by the state governments for building of the national data. It's not that it's not necessary to conclude that's a reflection on the current data. It's necessary to restore the trust and confidence.
Absolutely.
And therefore, my own inclination would be to have a second National Commission of Statistics and ask them to look at the practices and the institutional arrangements in other countries also, and come out with a framework to ensure trust and confidence in the data system.
A quick question, sir, on what is right now a part of the economic narrative of this country, and that's a part of the manifesto that the Congress Party has announced. It was first talked about in the economic survey by Arvind Subramanian, a minimum income guarantee. What is your take on this? Is there fiscal elbow room to support something like this?
See, there are two different things. One is fiscal sustainability. Second, whether it is desirable or not. Now, if it is fiscally, it can be made fiscally sustainable if you give up something else. You give up various subsidies, it's possible. Technically it is possible to do this without sacrificing the fiscal sustainability. Do we expect that will happen? That's a different issue. Second, I think judgmentally you cannot say that it's waste or not waste. In fact, in a way, I would say in the context of fiscal federalism, such matters are best left to the state and the center. In the context of fiscal federalism, a broad income distribution program, enabling such a program, is likely to be more in favor of backward states than subsidies.
Yes.
The subsidies tend to go to the richer states. The studies also have shown. So between subsidies and the income support program, there is greater merit in doing the income support program than the subsidies if you have to choose between the two.